Let's get ready for cocktails! So, boy, it is my pleasure or something to introduce you to the Democratic National Convention drinking game. Do you think you could handle it? I'm not sure I can. I'm Steve Green. You know, I invented political drunk blogging, and there's no way I'm going to play this game. Welcome to Right Angle with my lovely and talented co-hosts, Scott Ott and Bill Whittle. Gents, Monday morning, I get this email from my managing editor at PJ Media with the officially unofficial rules for the DNC drinking game, and I want you to look at this list. You have to drink on, hang on, I gotta take a deep breath first. Fair Share, Millionaires and Billionaires, Koch brothers, Living Wage, Climate Change, Comprehensive Immigration Reform, Path to Citizenship, Affordable Care Act, Income Inequality, Paid Family Leave, Equal Pay for Equal Work, Second-Class Citizens, Dark Money in Politics, and Citizens United. And then there are bonus shots for Trump's hair, Trump's small hands, Trump saying I am your voice, Trump University, Trump's mean tweets, Trump mocking disabled reporter, Trump's bankruptcies, and gents, you know, the whole thing, that entire list, that's just the preamble to a Bernie Sanders stump speech. We're supposed to drink all that, Scott? I know you're a non-drinker. God bless you for that. But I have a theory about the real reason you gave up drinking. See, what's going to happen is on Thursday night, you're going to watch Hillary Clinton give her acceptance speech in Philadelphia. Then you're going to record subliminal messages of yourself saying, give up alcohol. Give up alcohol. Then you're going to invent a time machine in your basement, travel back in time, sneak into your younger self's bedroom at night, and play that tape over and over until he gets the message. Or, you know what, I take it back, but is any of that less likely than getting through the DNC drinking game without a trip to the emergency room?
Well, you know, I watched a couple of hours of it last night, including Bernie Sanders' speech as we record this. That was last night. And today I actually had, they put all the sort of minor people on during the daytime, not in prime time. Yeah. And so they were people who were announcing committee reports and things like that. And all of those phrases you used, I swear, the average speech length was probably 10 minutes. You know, they have a lot of speakers come through this thing. And I think every speaker hit every one of those with every speech. I think they're just talking off the same teleprompter. I mean, you can see the teleprompter in front of them. I think they're just essentially they're scrambling the same speech and doing it in different ways. It's thrilling for the people in the hall. They love to hear it. They can't get enough of that. And when Bernie Sanders and his supporters essentially have been telling the crowd, look, Bernie didn't win this nomination, but Bernie got his revolution because we are going to break up the big banks and we are going to have a $15 an hour minimum wage and we are going to make the transition from petroleum and coal to wind and solar. I mean, they think this is done. They think this stuff's a done deal. They are openly bragging that America, that the Democratic Party, rather, has the most progressive platform in the history of the party. And that's saying something. And so they're really fired up about this. Yeah, I think you would flatline halfway through the first speech by some, congresswoman from Ohio if you tried to play that game.
Can I just ask Scott a quick question?
Yeah, go ahead, Bill.
Scott, I'm a little confused. Who's responsible for not having provided the $15 minimum wage and continued fracking with the oil and trade agreements and the big banks continuing to get richer and so on?
Bill,
are they running against? They're running against Richard Nixon, I imagine, right?
It's those darn Republicans who,
yeah, that's right.
Who even when the Democrats controlled the White House and the Congress for several years during the early years of the Obama administration, those darn Republicans have some sort of mystical mojo, like this aura that comes off them that prevents Democrats from actually getting anything done.
So you're saying that the Democrats in the audience desperately want change?
They do, and hope.
And hope.
And hope,
okay.
Yes. Plenty of hope. Now, listen, to keep things fair, the only reason I didn't do the story about the Republican National Convention is for some strange reason. I didn't get the drinking game list for the Republicans, and I could have asked Scott the same question about the RNC, and he could have given me basically the same answer, but with some different phrases tailored for for a Republican audience. Listen, Bill, I have another theory, and this one's actually plausible. I believe really there are two kinds of jokes. The first kind are the jokes we laugh at because the punchline, it takes us by surprise. And the second kind are the jokes we laugh at because we know exactly what's coming. The skill is in the delivery, and we laugh in recognition instead of surprise. And these drinking games, they come out before every convention, before every State of the Union address, before the debates, and every time they're all the second kind of joke. And you know what? Those were thin a lot faster than the first kind. Now, I like to drink my share of cocktails. I like to drink your share of cocktails. But isn't the joke, isn't it over with these things?
Well, let me just say a few things before we get into this. Isn't the joke over? Ladies and gentlemen, when he says he'd like to drink my share of cocktails, the EPA is looking for a safe place to bury Steve's liver, and surgeons will routinely dip their surgical instruments in his blood in order to sterilize them. Secondly, I was watching Bernie last night, and I was watching him. I was in a restaurant, and so I got to, picture was up but no sound, thank God. And I realized that if you watch the entire Bernie Sanders speech, he is the most insanely predictable delivery that I've ever seen. If you have the sound off, it looks like a guy who's out on the porch yelling for kids to get off of his lawn, and then he stops with this kind of Mussolini kind of, get off my... And then he waits for the applause line, and then it's like a loop. And furthermore, get off of my neighbor's lawn. I don't know. I don't get it. And finally, the Hillary thing, watching the Hillary Clinton speech with, it's going to have to be like Clockwork Orange with those little wire things to keep your eyes open and, you cure yourself of anything. Anyway, look, the question isn't really, I don't think the question is the cliches and the overuse of keywords and buzzwords in the convention. I think what's much more interesting is what are the buzzwords? I mean, what are you actually drinking for? If everything on your list for the DNC is basically drinking for dependency and give me some of that stuff for free and drinking for, apocalypses that aren't going to come but will serve to take huge amounts of money from the people who make money and give it to the people who don't. The whole DNC drinking list is about dependency, laziness, and stealing. Now, the RNC does, in fact, have a same kind of a list of cliches and so on, but in the RNC thing is probably drink every time you hear the word liberty, drink every time you hear the word freedom, drink every time you hear the word wealth creation, drink every time you hear the word, entrepreneur. It's really all you need to know, right? I mean, it really is the makers and the takers.
Yeah. Oh, boy. I'll drink to that, Bill. Folks, what a week it's been, and it's only been 3 days. DNC chair and Clinton ally Debbie Wasserman Schultz, she was forced out over the weekend. Then she was booed off the stage by her own delegation on Monday morning at a breakfast she was hosting. Then we had Bernie Sanders telling his most diehard supporters that he's proud to stand with Hillary despite everything he told them about her during the race. Right there on the convention floor on Tuesday morning, her own supporters were calling Elizabeth Warren an Indian giver or something. The Democrats had their email servers hacked by the Russians, and now their dirty laundry is being aired by WikiLeaks, and the result is a virtual behind-the-scenes Democratic civil war. And on Tuesday morning, a new poll showed Donald Trump with a convention bounce ahead in Ohio, a must-win state, and 538's Nate Silver gave Trump a better than 56% chance of winning on Election Day. Now, I don't know if you're planning on drinking your way through watching these speeches on TV, but the real drinking, the serious drinking, ought to be going on in Philadelphia at the DNC by our beleaguered Democratic friends. It's been a rough week for you guys. I sympathize. And that is the right angle on drinking at the DNC. I'm Steve Green. Thanks for watching. And to the BillWhittle.com members who bring this show to you with their membership fees, thank you so much for making this possible.